Brandon never thought he would leave everything behind so suddenly. It was not something he had planned. But life has its own way of hurting people deeply when they least expect it. In the city where he had lived for years, he had everything: a house, a wife, and a business. But then, in a short time, it was all gone. His friends believed it all started the day he married Loretta. From that point, everything in his life began to fall apart. Brandon didn't notice anything. He only saw his beautiful wife. Before I continue, I have one small request. If you are enjoying the story, kindly press the like button. Your support gives me the strength to create more. Brady had a strange feeling something was wrong. So, he worked hard and saved his company just in time. But when he looked deeper, he discovered something shocking. His own wife had been destroying his business. She had been planting computer viruses, breaking the systems, and giving secrets to his competitors. It broke him completely. He saved the business, but his trust and heart were crushed. He could not stay in that city anymore. Every street, every building reminded him of her. He found a small bank in another city, almost 1,000 kilometers away. The bank was not doing well, and the owners wanted to sell it. He bought it and moved. He stayed in a hotel at first, but soon the agency found him a good house. He started working quickly. In the first few days, he spent time understanding the bank's condition and meeting the workers. Most of the staff were lazy and careless. They drank tea, painted nails, and didn't care about customers. After watching them for 3 days, Brandon called for a meeting. But just before that, he heard his secretary shouting at the cleaning lady. She told the cleaner not to clean while she was around and insulted her. The cleaning lady stayed quiet and walked away with her bucket. Brandon asked why the secretary was being so rude. She said the cleaner was stupid and annoying. Brandon replied that every person has their own duty, and she should remember hers. She was shocked but didn't argue back. Brandon then told her there would be a staff meeting in 1 hour. She didn't want to call the team herself, but he gave her a tired look. Clearly, she wasn't the right person for the job. When he came to the hall, no one was working. Everyone was gossiping. The secretary was saying they would all lose their jobs. She laughed about Brandon supporting the cleaner, calling her names like Hattie the Fool. Brandon felt disgusted. He then saw the cleaning lady again. She was gently cleaning a plant. He walked up to her and asked why she never replied when insulted. She looked at him and smiled softly. She was young, maybe 30. Before she could say anything, another worker spoke rudely, saying the cleaner was mute and couldn't talk. Brandon was shocked. The woman's smile faded. He asked if she truly couldn't speak. She nodded. Then he turned to the rude girl and asked if she hated people with problems. The girl replied they should live on an island. Brandon replied coldly that she might belong there too, because being overweight is also an imperfection. The woman looked embarrassed. Some staff laughed. Brandon left to prepare his list of people he would fire. The staff meeting was messy. People didn't understand what he expected. He explained that they were supposed to work during work hours. Some complained they could not smoke or drink tea freely. One woman asked if she must now drink coffee alone. Brandon asked how many felt that way. Many raised their hands. He told them to go to HR and resign. People were shocked. Brandon said clearly that this was his bank, and he would make it successful. Anyone who had a problem could leave. Only 5 people left. The others stayed and listened to his plan. Some said it made sense and they would work harder if the pay was good. Things finally started to change. 2 days later, Brandon came to the bank early. He needed some documents before going to meet an investor. When he arrived, the guard looked nervous. Brandon saw the cleaning lady sleeping in a chair. He asked what was going on. The guard said the cleaner's family treated her badly and often threw her out. She had no real family and nowhere to go. So the guard let her sleep at the bank sometimes. Brandon walked over and gently woke her up. He handed her keys and an address. It was his house. He told her to go there and rest. He would be away for a few days. She looked scared but took the keys. Brandon told the guard to inform HR she was on leave and to find a replacement cleaner. On the road, Brandon kept thinking about what he had done. Why had he taken her in? He didn't know, but he couldn't stop thinking about her. That evening, he remembered he had cameras installed in his house. He checked the footage. The house looked completely different. Everything was neat and clean. He looked through the rooms, wondering where she was. Then he saw her. She had just taken a shower and was wrapped in a towel. She spun around, smiling like a child. Her long hair fell down her back as she danced around the room. Brandon smiled without realizing it. She stopped to arrange some decorations, then danced again. He turned off his phone and slept peacefully, thinking about her. He had found out more about her. Her name was Elvira. She had lost her parents at 14. After that, she stopped speaking. Her aunt took her in, but probably only for the money. Later, her parents' apartment disappeared, and the aunt had a big house. Brandon guessed something illegal had happened. He felt she had no one to protect her. He decided to be that person. Brandon remembered how he was bullied as a teenager too. But he fought back. He learned sports, stood up for himself, and built his own business. People tried to destroy him, but now he was strong. Those who mocked him had done nothing with their lives. But Elvira? She was different. She needed someone to help her. When he came back home, he smelled delicious food. The kitchen looked bigger and well arranged. Elvira stood quietly watching him. He asked why she was scared of him. She smiled and quickly set the table. They ate together. The food was amazing. He gave her a pen and notebook and asked her to write about her past. He wanted to help her. He promised he would. 3 years passed. Elvira and Brandon stood outside a beautiful building. She asked where they were. Her voice was still soft, but the doctor had said it would improve with time. Brandon told her to look at the name. She looked up and saw the name Elvira. She was shocked. She asked if the restaurant was hers. He smiled and said yes. Since she stayed home alone when he worked at the bank, he thought she should have something to keep her busy. She loved cooking and always made new recipes. His friends stopped going to restaurants because they preferred her food. So he gifted her a restaurant as a wedding present. They had just signed their marriage papers an hour ago. Elvira had refused a big wedding. She hugged him tightly and said he was the best. But then she said something surprising. She said they would need a nanny. Brandon turned to her, shocked. Was she saying what he thought? His eyes filled with tears. Suddenly, someone called out. It was Anna, the old secretary he had fired. She looked at Elvira and was shocked to see her speaking. She asked if Elvira could talk now. Elvira replied that it looked like she could. Anna's face twisted in anger. But before she could say anything rude, Brandon stepped in. He told her to be respectful because Elvira was now his wife. Anna was speechless. Brandon turned to Elvira and said it was time to see her new restaurant. They walked up the steps together, leaving Anna behind, still staring at them in shock. Brandon and Elvira had finally found peace and happiness together. If you liked the story, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Goodbye.